Shalom people, this is Brother Lyles coming at you with another video, and I want to talk about Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, the Marine Lieutenant Colonel that got in trouble for making videos speaking out against the military leadership for the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And following the news cycle the last couple of days, saw that he had been told by his superiors not to make any more videos talking about, I guess, this situation. And he got back on video again and his uniform and started talking about it. They arrested him, put him in the brig. $2 million was raised for him by his parents, and he's been let out of the brig, and immediately they've put charges on him. I don't know what the charges are, but they're probably gonna be along the lines of disobeying a lawful order and probably a host of other charges. So he definitely will need that $2 million that was raised. I think they said it's also to help cover whatever he would have got if he was able to have finished his 20 years and retired from the Marine Corps. So it probably actually will go up higher than $2 million. That is if his lawyers are able to get him off without doing any jail time. The different groups that raised the money for him all seem to have some kind of connection to Donald Trump and, you know, other right-wing groups. So if his lawyers are able to get him off with at least honorable under general conditions, he'll be able to still apply for his VA benefits, and it won't be a bad stain on his record, because honorable under general conditions, you know, it's okay. And actually he probably would be able after a few months to apply to upgrade that to just being honorable. So the thing is, to me, the groups tied to Trump that helped raise this money for him, I'm pretty sure that once he gets out the Corps, they'll be calling on him to continue his talking points on the withdrawal from Afghanistan as a means to show that Joe Biden is not the commander-in-chief that America should have, and probably a host of other subjects they'll want him to speak on. So basically it'll be his what's that word I want to use, when Adam and Eve had a choice from eating from the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? If he takes that money, you know, he'll be tied in with these people. He'll be tied in with their message, and he'll be tied into, you know, Fox News with their sock puppet reporters that, you know, reading off of scripts and, you know, had the most ridiculous talking points, you know, when it comes to stuff that's obvious. he doesn't seem like he would be that type of person. But you know, like I said, I'm not no cheerleader for him in no way, shape, or form, except for the fact that, you know, it is good that the hypocrisy of the system is being shown. I would just say, you know, and for him, you know, your really true intent would be shown if you say, look, I appreciate the $2 million that y'all raised for me. I'm only going to take the portion of the $2 million for the lawyer fees that I have, but everything else I'm giving back, because after I get out, I want to retire quietly to my civilian life and forget about all this. I don't have no interest in speaking against a system that I know my words is not gonna make a difference. I think he's come, you know, I could be wrong, but I think he probably has come to that conclusion. And either the conclusion you're gonna come to is you can't beat him, or he might come to the conclusion if you can't beat him, join him. Meaning, if this system is only about making money, which a lot of people made a lot of money in Afghanistan, and he does have a degree in accounting. If he comes to that conclusion, if you can't beat him, join him, you will start seeing him be a Fox News contributor. You will see him going on these different right-wing news channels. You will see him being a military spokesperson on these different channels, like Oliver North. You know, he was supposed to have been the disgraced Marine for what he did with the Iran Contra stuff, but they pumped him up to be a hero. Not only that fact that the Reagan and all them allowed him to be able to retire and branded him as being a hero, when what he had to do with drugs coming into black neighborhoods and starting the crack epidemic that started in the 80s with the cocaine and stuff coming into our community. So I would hope that he wouldn't go that route, but again, you just don't know. You know, and inevitably the system of the military and the police is what allows them to keep white supremacy over everyone in the world. So maybe he comes to that conclusion that if I continue to try to tear down this system, this is how, you know, ultimately our race of people is going to exist and keep power. So maybe I should just, you know, maybe be, you know, quiet in my retiring away from public life, and, you know, not be, you know, so hasty, you know, because everybody can see that on the right and the left, both systems are one system. It's just that one wants to rule it one way and the other one wants to rule it another way, but they ultimately both want the system to stay the way it is. It's just that, you know, they have a few key differences in how they want it. This Marine Lieutenant Colonel seems to have been, in his talking points, one that wanted to just bring down the system altogether and rebuild it, and that's not what they're gonna do. Even the Fox, they probably would give him certain talking points, but they would let him go just but so far. And so we'll see, you know, what transpires in these next couple of months. if he indeed, avoids jail time, if he does take the money and then be he'll be beholden to these groups for the rest of his life, and we'll be seeing his face, and then that'll make everything that he said before it'll be mute, but this again is the Most High. In the Bible you will see where sometimes he will have our enemies turn the sword in on themselves and fight against each other. So I don't know if he wants to get engaged in that for the rest of his life. He would seem to be the one that might say, I'm just gonna be like General MacArthur, who made the famous speech, I'm just an old soldier that's gonna fade away. Although I do think that another reason that MacArthur probably did fade away was he was coming against the military-industrial complex, and he probably knew that if he continued to push, that they would bring all his skeletons out of his closet, and that they would tarnish his image that he wanted to be as a conquering, benevolent, righteous, commander or whatever. And so he faded away so he could keep that image, even though that image was not, what it was cracked up to be. MacArthur, as with all, it has feet, of clay. There is no righteous Christian warrior, all this kind of different things or whatever that they put out there, and so we'll see. So with that, I'll tell you to give this video a thumbs up, to subscribe, leave a comment, and share. Be blessed.